Yo, what is up ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Brent Bryson here giving you guys my personal updated settings here on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the Xbox One X. Now I finally got the settings just right, just for me. But again, before I showcase my settings, I just gotta say that these are my personal settings, this is what I'm used to. So, if you guys do want to try this out, keep in mind that it won't make you a better player in the game of PUBG. So everyone has their different settings and everything, and I just want to showcase mine just for a baseline for those who are still struggling to find their settings. Now again, before I do show my settings, I am using the Xbox One Elite controller with a Control Freak Phantom on the right stick. So the Control Freaks makes your right analog stick a little bit higher, and which makes your precision for aiming a little bit better, in my opinion. Now with that all being said, let's get right into it with the settings. I am playing on Type B, and again I do have the Elite controller. If you guys still don't know what Type B is you have to hold down the left trigger in order to aim down sight. Type A, you have to tap the left trigger to aim down sight. Now people likes Type A because that's what this game before started off with, but once Type B came out, you know, I switched to Type B right off the bat. Now it feels so much better for me to aim while holding the left trigger and then shooting with the right trigger. But what you have to do, or what other people are struggling to do, is hold their breath while aiming down sight, because you have to hold the LB button in order to hold your breath. But for me, since I do have the Elite controller, the left paddle, the short left paddle on the left side is my LB button, and then I also have the A paddle on my right button, and those two are the only buttons that I use on my Elite controller. Even when it comes to Call of Duty, I use the A to jump shot and then the LB to heal. For Black Ops 4, if I played previous Call of Duties, I just don't use the left paddle at all. So yeah, now I do have the X and Y invert axis off. This is the default for that, so I just have this off. My right stick dead zone is at 15. I know in my previous video, if you guys seen that, I said I put it on 15 because my right stick drifts a lot. I am using a newer Elite controller from the time of that recording of that video, but I still kept it in 15 because this just feels right to me when I'm looking left and right and everything like that, aiming left and right. I like the sturdiness of looking left and right with the the right stick dead zone at 15. Now my left stick dead zone is at 5. I tried making it as low as possible just so I could use the input on my left analog stick as fast as possible. I tried it on 0 to 4, but then if for some reason, I don't know if it's placebo effect, but it felt wrong to me. So I kept it at 5 and I left it at 5. I like the vibration in my controller. I love using a vibrator in my hand. Oh, that came out wrong. I like feeling the vibration in my hand. So then I do have the vibration on. I've always played with vibration on. Even in other games, I've always had vibration on. Now my forward running sensitivity, this is a new feature for the PS4 and the Xbox One X, and the Xbox One. Now the default was at 10, but it felt wrong to me, so then I made it back down to 0. And what this does is it adjusts your sensitivity of running forward, which is for your left stick. And the higher the sensitivity value, the easier it is to run forward. I left this all the way down to 0, which was the baseline on what it was before, previous to this game. Now the movement sensitivity, I put it all the way to 100 because this gives me the best time to run as fast as possible. Or the input to run at a lower stick input as fast as possible. I kept this at 100 because that's what's comfortable for me. Now the vertical sensitivity for the multiplier, our vertical sensitivity multiplier, I keep this at 100. If you guys put it like higher, that means your vertical sensitivity, your up and down, is going to be higher than your horizontal sensitivity. So if you want everything like each direction, up, down, left, and right at the same speed, you just keep it at 100. Now my general sensitivity, I kept it at 15, or I actually bumped it up to 15 because 10 felt too slow for me, and then 15 was just a sweet spot for me with my Control Freak on my right analog stick. Now the vehicle driving sensitivity, again, I don't really drive on PUBG, but when I do, 13 is just an okay number for me. If I do have teammates, they always drive for me, and if I play solo, I barely use the driving feature. Now, aim acceleration, I know I had it on 2 last sensitivity update, but then when I came back to PUBG after a few months of not playing it, it felt weird. So I turned it off. I turned off aim acceleration, and now my shot feels more on point than it was when I previously played PUBG. And then now for the aiming over the shoulder sensitivity, I kept this at 12. Since I do play type B, and since I do majority of the time play first person, I don't really aim over the shoulder like that. I don't third person aim. It's either I aim down sight or I just hit fire, spray and pray without using my left trigger or right trigger. So I don't really use this feature, but when I have to, 12 is a good spot for me. And now coming for the optics, my 1, 2, and 3 sensitivity scope is at 8. Like what Clifford Anderson said when he uses his at 9, I treat the 2 and 3x as a mid-range and close-range scope, especially the 2x and the 1x, but the 3x is more for mid-range. But I like it the same sensitivity, so I can follow my opponents or my enemies to the best of my liking. I keep freaking cracking my voice, damn it. Now for my 4 times sensitivity, this is at a 7, slightly lower than an 8, just so I could be more precise with the longer shots. As well as my 6x, this is for my DMRs, I put it at 6, as well as my 8 times scope, I put it at 6 because these are my sniper rifle, bolt action sniper rifle scopes, and I have to be as accurate as possible when I have to hit those longer shots. Now the 15x scope, I haven't used this for like 5 updates now, but I kept it at 20 because I went to the training mode, and even when the sensitivity is on 20, the scope is very slow. So I don't think I'm ever going to use the 15x, so it doesn't really matter what you put it on. You can put it at 1 and make it like freaking slow as hell, or 20 and make it slow as hell. So it's up to you guys. Now for the gameplay, if you guys do want to find out how I got purple blood, is Tritanopia in a colorblind mode, and then TTP or TPP aim camera position is defaulted to reset to right shoulder. Even though I'm left-handed, I tried it on the left shoulder, but it felt weird. The character looked weird, so then I just kept it on reset to right shoulder. Now I have the auto reloading off because that really throws me off when I have no ammo in my my gun, and then I'm so used to holding down X that if I turn it on, it's gonna distract me. I do have the compass background on though. This is contrasting the background on the compass for easier readability. It's just easier to read the compass. It's plain and simple. You can turn it on. I haven't touched anything on the audio side, so everything's at 100. And again, I am using the Astro A40s with a mix amp, by the way. Yeah. And now for the graphics, the field of view, I do play a lot of first person. Now the field of view baseline or default was at 90, I think. Was it at 90, 95 or something? I did bump it up to 100. I haven't really tried it at 103, but I'm so used to 100 now that I'm not even going to change it to 103. And I got signed out because I talked too long. Jesus Christ. And then for those of you who does have the Xbox One X, there is another, what the heck? Check my connection. Screw that. I'm just going to keep talking. If you guys do have the Xbox One X, there is another option for you guys, which is the frame rate or the resolution priority. I keep mine on the frame rate resolution, even though I have the Xbox One X with a SSD drive. What the SSD drive does is it makes your game run so much faster, and so if I have it on frame rate, it makes it run that much faster. That's why majority of the time when I land to buildings or land in a spot in a hot drop, I am one of the first ones to find a gun because I was able to render in my videos or render in my buildings as fast as humanly Xbox possible. And now the brightness is at 100 because sometimes it's very dark inside houses. Jeez, that was a long explanation. I'm so sorry about that. I'm almost gonna reach 10 minutes, so I'm not gonna reach 10 minutes. So I love you guys all and have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys.